Hello everybody, today it will not be a long video because I had to work, that I can earn my money, that I'm not starving making these videos here. And yeah, we still went into some code and it was introduction to local scope and that's just that. And I also made some code in Visual Studios, just about 40 lines, and I will go through that and look at with you what I've learned. And the code that I've looked at is here, chapter 2.5, introduction to local scope. And we basically just looked into what the code does. And here we have a great example. We have here X and Y are created and enter the scope here. They are created here in this function separately from the main function, because every function has to need their own function. You have to define them separate. And then here in the x plus y, x and y are visible, usable within this function only. And then when it ended, y and x goes out of scope and are destroyed here. So x and y in this function no longer exist. So, and we have the same here as well. When everything ends, all the values that we had here vanish. So this is the end of the program, so the program just closes, so everything is clean. So no value. And here we have the integer a5 and b6. A is created, b is created, here they are used, and here they are destroyed. And you can also go that far that you say the integers in one function are x and y, and then in the other function, the add function, are also x and y, and they still do the exact same. And it works completely fine, and that's basically what this chapter all says about that. And now I quickly want to show what I have made in my code, and I will go through it. I've just quickly made this code in about 20 minutes so that I can learn what I've read it in in the chapter, so I don't only read, that I also am making code with it. And I learned a lot because I made some mistakes, but the code now works, and when I run it, you can see I can enter a value, for example 4. I can enter another new value. For example, print 8, and then together they give 12, and number 1, by how much do you want to multiply it, and then I can add a number, for example 8, and the number 1 will be multiplied by 32. So 8 times 4 is 32, and number 2, by how much you want to multiply it, and I say 7. 8 times 7 is 56. And that's basically everything our code does here. And here I did that with initializing two variables, x and y, and then give them a value. And I used a simple function for giving it a value, and this is down here. I made it like that. Those are all the headers. If you make your code under the main function, they will not work otherwise. That's why I have declared them up here with a semicolon. Here you don't need a semicolon because you want to run them, and you make those curly brackets instead. And then the return statement is the end of it, and yeah, you close it. And yeah, back to the give value. I have here initialize another integer that says x, so we have a new value that we can create. Then we enter the value and say x, and it should return it. Otherwise it would not work, because we need a value, because we have no value that we are starting with. And then we return x, and then we can give that value to the integer here, and then the value stays in here in the main function. And with that we can make the value that is given to it. Then we say just add, and that's a basic function that just adds x and y, and we made some parameters, integer x and integer y, that are inputted here directly, and I just declared them. Don't be confused because I use the same names, because x, that could be also something different. It could be here a, and we change that as well, so the program works. and it works completely fine. We could run that and it would have no errors at all. We can just write everything like we usually do. I just used the same characters for the program, and then we just add the first number and the second numbers. You could also just use a number, for example 6, but I placed in with letters because it's much better like this. You have no numbers in your program, and when you don't have numbers, it's much clearer, because if you want to find a number and say what it exactly means, it's much more difficult than when you just add words. They are clear. And then I have made the multiply one for number 1, multiply a, and then we just go here. We have an integer that is turned in here into here. Then we have the integer z that we define new to multiply it. So we can say we want to multiply by z, and we can choose how much we multiply. So we have to define a new integer called z to multiply it, and then we multiply x. So for this example, the a that we import in as an integer, and after that the multiply y, and it works completely fine with as many characters or numbers as you wish, and you can repeat that many times. And that's the program that I've done, and it's very easy, but I tried to include every step that we have learned so far, and I think I have made a pretty well job. And the only thing we could still enter would be a void function. Let's say print us our values. Print value, that's our function name, and then we make a function out of it, and we say we need an integer. We say just an integer x, and then we need another one because we have two values, integer y, and then we make our curly brackets. In our curly brackets, we say we want to return, or no, we don't return, because we have a void function. In a void function you cannot return. That means we make a std cout, and we just want to say we want to have the value x and the value y printed into it, and that we have it a little bit clearer, we make a space in between, or we say value 2. Oh, we have to make those. Oh, it deletes both of them. We have to make those, and on the other side 2. And then we say again that we want to have value 1. This time we make it correctly. Value 1. And then when we want to print that, we first have to include that here. We make Ctrl C, print it up here, semicolon, and then at the end we say print value, and we can just take this print value from here, that it is quickly, that we don't have to type it. Like that. And then we make the parentheses and finish it with a semicolon. And yeah, with that we just have to enter our values, and we have the value a and the value y, and when we have that, it has everything it needs to enter the values. The only thing we have to do is to do here a semicolon and no issues found, and we can start our program, and it should print our values after we have done it, or we have defined it. We have to define them first. The first one is 6, the other one is 7. Together they are 13. Then 4 times 6 is 24, and 7 times 6 is 42. And we could make a space here, and value 1 is 6 and value 2 is 7. That's not that clear. We can make it much clearer, like that. Value 2, and then we can make it like that, and we can also make a space here for to the next value. And when we run it now, we can say 6, 3 together is 9, multiplied by 7 it's 42, multiplied by 4 is 12. Then we have value 1. We could make it equal instead, a double point. That would be much better. And yeah, we do it a last time. Equal and an equal, and we even make a space on both sides, so it looks even better. And now we add value 5, value 7. We have together 12 multiplied by 3, 15 multiplied by 7, 49, and value 1 equals 5, and value 2 equals 7. Perfectly. And with that, I think everything is explained. I learned how to code what I have read so far, and all good. And now I have to go early to bed. And I still hope you enjoyed the video and had some fun. You had some fun watching it. Thank you if you are still here. And I would say I hope you learned something, and bye.